Well, hello, everybody. It is Connor. Sorry for the rescheduling of this about 400 times. I planned this to go a little bit different. And when you're running a fan channel that you guys all absolutely love, which I really appreciate, it can be difficult. It can be really, really difficult when it comes to running your stuff and doing it that way and keeping you guys entertained and getting everything. Let me just paint the scene for you. Coming out of Wembley and trying to get all the stuff uploaded for you guys, even pre-match, is literally impossible. There is no Wi-Fi. The 3, 4, 5G is terrible. It's so bad. So I was having absolute minor meltdowns trying to get stuff on air and stuff like that. But I'd like to say, listen, a massive, massive thank you to everybody who came up. I reckon I had 200 people come up to me today. So thank you so much. You know, wanting pictures, just wanted to say hello, just have a beer or whatever. It was really, really lovely. And the Leeds fans today were brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Saw no trouble, just pure support, backing the team. It was a real, real special, and it should be a lot better. It should have been a lot better, and it wasn't. Look, it wasn't, and we'll get into that, guys. And throughout the week, we're not just going to be dwelling on this. We're going to be looking forward. It's not just going to be oh no, like you know, we're going to have to dissect it. We're going to have to debrief it all. We've got big personalities coming on the show in the next week. We've got Joe, we've got Brownie, we've got KG. We've got the debrief. We've got a lot going on this week, but we're also going to be proactive. We're going to be looking ahead. But right now it's raw, we're fragile, and we have to discuss it. And what I say in this video might not be what I think in 2 days' time. The dust may settle. That is life. We all know that. But right now, I'm going to give my raw emotion as you guys come on here to see me do and have seen me do for 5 years on YouTube. So shout out to all of you lot in the building. Shout out to all of you guys who have been waiting for this. It's not with my dad. I am gonna have to change the title after this. The old man's at work and he's knackered. But yeah, it's taken me 5 hours to get home, so I am knackered. But I thought, do you know what? Partner, my lovely partner who's just brought me some flowers. She brought me Leeds flowers, everybody. She brought me Leeds flowers. What a keeper. And I just want to smash those Leeds flowers up right now. And I had a brew and all this sort of stuff. And she was just give me, give me cuddle, give me a nice little cuddle, bring me back down to earth. And but here we are. It's what Leeds United do. It is what Leeds United do to us, isn't it? But I'm buzzing. I went down. I'm buzzing. I saw you all. You know, if I didn't see you, then apologies on my end for that. Yeah. So I'm trying. I want to start with positives. I want to start with the sun being there. Leeds been brilliant. Philip's been there. Rafa giving us a little bit of a message on social medias, which I absolutely loved. The atmosphere that Leeds created and Southampton created as well. I want to say Southampton, well done, lads. Well done. Look, the 3 teams who went up deserve to go up. You know, you do. Listen, I think the playoffs should work in a certain way, and to just be the 3 teams going up, top 3, but it doesn't work like that, football. But 90 points and Leeds not going up, it's so Leeds United. It is Leeds United. And it'll never be done again, that. It'll never be done again. It'll just be a record that we set. You know, like in the playoff final against Derby when we went 2-0 up and then they reversed the score somehow with 55 minutes to play. Never been done before, but it's Leeds United. We set records. We really do. So, yeah, it is. It's just such a shame it ended like that. But we're gonna dissect sort of as much as we can. Really, I need your guys' help with it as well. There's nearly 1,000 of you in the building already. I'm just going to read out some. I'm going to read out your super chats, everybody. So just listen, hold fire. We'll get into them. Don't worry. But I think the overarching point here and the thought process for me is he's just got schooled 3 times, and the excuses are already rolling out. He's definitely the man for next season. This, that, and the other. And listen, I don't want to be reactionary right now. But Daniel Farke needs to develop as a coach. We need to see a lot more from him next season. A lot more now. It took him 2 seasons initially to get into it with Norwich. Obviously, that first season at Nelson Oliveira, Madison and co. Second season, they won the league. So that is a little nugget that people are looking at. And I think that will be, you know, it's definitely something to look at. But we've seen that game today 10, 11 times this season. We've seen individual brilliance so many times this season that I do believe has got us into the position that we're in. I think individual brilliance has got us this moment. Don't get me wrong, the manager's done a decent job, but with that plethora of player, that caliber of player, we didn't have the balance. We don't have the balance. We don't have the depth up front that your Leicester, your Southampton do. It's just not a thing. We've not invested that way at all to build up the squad. We brought Joe Prone at the start of the season, who's not a number 9. That is our depth up front, really, alongside a youngster who's having a breakout season, kind of a breakout season when Farker plays him, and Patrick Bamford, who's been here for 25 years. So, and he's on the MIA list again. So we didn't invest in that forward line as, your Southamptons have done. You've got obviously Adam Armstrong up there. You got Sekumara, Ross Stewart, Shea Adams. Then Leicester obviously got Daka, Iheanacho, Vardy. These are all bulky front lines. We didn't do that. And you look at Leeds' side, and it's not really got the balance that these sides have, but it's got a massive caliber going forward, a huge caliber. And we shouldn't have been dropping points to Sheffield Wednesday, to Rotherham, to QPR with this style of side, this caliber of side, I should say. And the teams in around those bottom 6, 7 throughout the season, and we have done. We've dropped a lot of points to those teams, and that's invariably what's come back and bitten us on the arse towards the back end of the season. But it has just, even against those bottom sides, the problem sort of, we saw very, very similar problems to what we saw today. Teams reverting into a back 5 and us struggling to break them down. And to break them down, the idea is to pass short. Nonsense out there. Some of us like just a quick ball and it's 1v1. Nope. What we'll do is we'll pass it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, now they're back in the shape. Now they're in it. They're in their perfect unit now. They've not been moved out of position. They've not been stretched. They've now moved over with Leeds United. It was ironic that Calvin Phillips was there today, the man who used to spread the legs of all the opposition teams under Marcelo Bielsa in that double pivot anchor role, and we just don't do it. So it's really easy to shift over. We're so narrow at points. It's almost Jesse Marsh. So yeah, as I say, I can see a lot of you guys in the section below. There's a lot of Southampton fans in there. Shout out to you. You deserve it. You fully deserve it. It is what it is. You've beaten us 3 times and we've conceded the exact same goal. We've conceded the exact same goal against Southampton. Why do we look? Adam Armstrong has been brilliant, but why do we make him look like R9? His movement against Leeds just looks like something on another planet. Shout out to him though; he's had a wonderful season. Southampton have had a wonderful season as well, like Leeds United, but we've just lost out. And you beat a manager 3 times. You deserve to go up 100%. You've tactically outdone our manager. And it's the players on the pitch. Of course it is. It is the players on the pitch. But when the manager has the ability to change things round on the bench, to go to a 4-4-2. 4-4-2. They've got 3 at the back. When Kyle Walker-Peters was rushing up, I was screaming down at Wembley, shouting. You got Kyle Walker-Peters going up, or Ryan Manning, or Fraser, who were brilliant today, by the way. Fraser he was excellent. But when they pushed up, you always had Perot just there, just forward a little bit, and you had 3 Saints fullbacks, 3 Saints centre-backs, I should say. Why not at one stage in the game, when we're chasing a goal, go to 2 up top for 40 minutes to try and get back into it? Because as soon as that goal went in, I don't know about you guys, this isn't me being Mr. Negative, because I had loads of positive people around me who were encouraging the team, as I were, but I get this label, which is fine. I understand it's a bit of copium for some of you deluded fans, but I wasn't negative. I was trying to figure out solutions on what we could do. Change it up. 2 up top. 3 up top, for goodness sake. Joseph on in the 65th minute. Something. And then his strategy, I know he wasn't having a good game, but it's to take your best player off for Jadon Anthony, who's been cold for the second half of the season. So what we're doing right now as Leeds fans is we've got to dissect this. Tomorrow is another day. The day after is another day where we can sit there and say, look, this is what we're going to be doing next season. And we're going to be getting into that. But the tactical flaws that we were speaking about in the previews, they all came to light again today. No pace, no tempo in our play. No one being brave, apart from Archie Gray, in my opinion, as a fan. Just Archie Gray was the one being brave. We've been pressed high, and instead of trying to bypass the press, take your man on. Just take your man on. We would go back every single time. There was 3 occasions in the first half where we were in their box and we got dragged all the way back to Elan Mele because nobody was taking a risk. Nobody was doing a Pablo Hernandez and just trying to break the lines. It just wasn't happening. So we became square, we became static, we became lateral. And this is my problem with Daniel Farke. It's this sort of performance has happened too many times, and it's not just against the top teams. Invariably, it's actually been against the bottom teams, the ones who've deployed this formation. Now, that is my worry going into next season. Are we going to continue with that? Is that going to be what we're going to? It's got us into a fantastic position. Of course it has, but we are going to weaken the division. There is an argument that it will weaken. I fundamentally do believe that as well. But there's another conversation to say that there's championship-ready sides coming down. You know, in your Lutons and your Burnleys and your Sheffield Uniteds. So I don't think it's going to be as weak as people think. And I think some of the mid teams are going to get a little bit stronger. However, Leeds are definitely going to be up there. But we are going to do a bit of a squad breakdown, everybody. But the one in, I mentioned previously, after if you've been an OG fan of the channel, that I've spoken to, you know, we've had conversations with certain people, and it's not going to be a fire sale this summer. But they've got to properly build now, because there is a lot of there's key loan players going back, obviously, when it comes to experience and obviously featuring in the side. You look at that squad, and there is a lot of injuries throughout the season, and there's a fair few with 12 months left on their deal, which it makes sense for Leeds United right now to cash in. And you can go and have a look at who those players are, everybody. And some of you will be quite shocked. You're looking at Somerville leaving 100%. You're looking at Nonso leaving 100%. And I'm going to throw in Junior Firpo. I think Firpo leaves this summer. And we're going to do an extensive breakdown on that. But that's when we look into next season and we look at the general squad churn. It might have to go like that. And we might have to be bringing, it's all going to be dependent on offers. Of course it is. You know, big clubs come in with big money. Leeds aren't just going to say no. It's not going to happen like that. So we're not throwing, you know, the dummies out of the pram right now. Of course we're not. But we need to be really, really clear on how important that game was today. It was a massive game of football. And it really upset me. And I understand, once again, that keyword copium. I get it. But it really did upset me when we're coming out and you're hearing fans say, well, it doesn't matter. And they're laughing and all that. And I understand it. As I say, it's copium. We're used to it. We're used to just bottling it at Wembley. I don't think it was a bottle today. It wasn't a bottle. But once again, we've got to that point and we've let it go again. And we shouldn't have been in the playoffs. We should have been in the top 2 if we've been honest with each other. So, yeah, trickle-down effect. We're in the playoffs. And I just thought that performance with what it was today was such a massive shame on what we've seen this season. And I think a lot of that was down to instruction. I think a lot of that, once again, was down to pragmatism, in-game management, in-game substitutions at the right time, being wrong again, and a similar blueprint to what we've seen against Southampton twice already. And nothing changed. Limited chances, short passes, strong defence, and really no confidence from any of us that we're going to win the game. There's people around me that a goal went in, fella behind me, two lads behind me, and a female in front, speaking about the game. He tapped me on the shoulder. He went, that's it now. And even I was a bit like, do you reckon? And he went, other lad went, that's it. And he said, we've seen this game before. And we started well for the first 10. We did. We started, but against Southampton at Ellen Road, we had sort of a 10, 15-minute spell there as well. But once again, it's the rashness. It's how raw we are. You know, in those first phases where we're getting between the lines, we're getting between a Rebo, Smallbone, Downs, who I thought was terrific today. We're getting in between the lines. But that final pass was just woeful. And when Southampton had that final pass and that big chance, they put it away. Absolutely put it away. And it was an excellent finish and a good bit of build-up. But we are just, it feels like we had everything to get to the Premier League in terms of, you know, that brilliant rawness to build on. And I felt like our squad was better. It was almost, you know, Southampton's squad is very, very, very experienced, but they need to reduce that age a little bit. They need to bring that average age down in the Premier League. And are those players, Flynn Downs going to be going back on loan? You know, Taylor Harwood-Bellis, I think he's going to be signed at the end of the season. But if he was to go back, let's say, you know, they're big loan players going back as well. You know, the Premier League's a massive step up. I think Leicester obviously going to be starting the season on a points deduction as well. And Ipswich, I think they're going to have to really plough money into that squad. But Leeds United, I felt that we just had so much of a young squad and quality players that just building on that would have been perfect. I felt like we were really ready-made for it. But the problem with not going up, and like I was just mentioned about the fans there and the whole, we'll go again next year. It's fine. It doesn't matter. It's Leeds. Hey, we'll go again next year. we're here for the drink or whatever. That mentality. I was coming out of Wembley and I was absolutely broken. I'm not saying these fans aren't. As I say, it's copium. It's dealing with it. It's just been like, well, okay, we'll go again. But I'm sick of just that. There's people behind me saying it. Oh, we go again in like the 70th, 80th minute. I'm like, why have we got this mentality that we need to be mentality monsters? We need to go into this game. No, we're going to beat them. We're going to beat them and be absolutely broken when we've not won the game, and it was a weird atmosphere after the game. I thought it was a weird atmosphere. Maybe that's just piling the pressure on Daniel Farke and Leeds United in general, because it's like, well, yeah. Now we're going up as champions next year. That everyone was saying it, and that's cool. That is cool, and maybe, maybe that's maybe we do go up as champions, and I hope we do. And I think that the conversation is, who do we keep? If we keep certain personnel, we all know this, and we add to that, and we're able to get players down on big contracts, on decent contracts, then we'll I think we've got a really good chance. But it's going to be tough again. We have to go through this slog again. This is what this stream is, everybody. Keep using that word. It's copium in a different way. We've got to dissect what we've seen today. Tactically, he knew what he was coming up against. Russell Martin changed to a back three when he came to Ellen Road, and there was nothing different. Nothing different. It's the exact same game. So we can blame the players all we want, but the strategy in place is just it's been carried out by the players. The strategy is the foundation here. So yeah, I listen. We'll have to wait and see what happens in the summer. Of course, it's going to be a summer of change. Parag didn't look happy whatsoever afterwards. I think they zoomed in on him, didn't they? We saw it on socials as well. He didn't look happy whatsoever. And you can't blame him, really, can you? You can't blame him. That was a big opportunity for Leeds. And obviously, it's heartbreaking, everyone. And you'll all know it, even if you weren't at the game today, even if you're an opposition fan and laughing at us, yeah, it is what it is. But I've been to Millennium Stadium and we just didn't show up and got battered by Watford. I've been there against Doncaster. It felt very reminiscent of Doncaster, to be fair. 1-0. Is it Hates or Hater? Hater. And I was there. And there's about 150 million Leeds fans in there, about 20 Doncaster fans celebrating. Beat us. We just didn't turn up that day. We're stifled by Doncaster, who just sat in deep in 2008. I was there for that. Today, there for that again. I've been to Wembley. I've been to the playoff final 3 times. We haven't scored a goal. We haven't scored a goal. Conceded what, 5? Haven't scored a goal. So it's really difficult to come back and to come on here and say to everyone, everything's going to be fine. We're going to win the league next year. There's too much churn that could potentially happen. Too much churn. Now, if you're a big club, I think this is what's going to happen. I mentioned it earlier on the stream. Firpo's going to go 100%. 12 months left on his deal. Leeds going to have to shift him on at some point, and I think he's going to go because I don't think he'll accept a new deal. That's my personal opinion. I think he's going to go, and I think he's had a really good second half of the season. I think there are going to be clubs sniffing. There were clubs sniffing at him last summer, and he turned them down. I don't think that's going to happen this summer. Nonto's 100% gone. Somerville's 100% gone. So we need to get used to that. Those 3 are going. So the balance is going to be affected there, in my opinion. So obviously, then you're taking the Vibes FC man out in terms of Somerville. So we can't just play through him anymore. So we've got to devise a new way of playing. We can't just bring another winger in and say, right, well, you do Somerville now. You win as the game by yourself. So it's all going to change now. It's all going to change. So if you're a big club, you keep Archie, you keep Ampadu, you keep Rutter, and you add to that and you bring some really good loan players in, some quality loan players in, of which we've seen this season. We've seen what Ipswich have done with Sarmiento, Kiefer Moore, Hutchinson. We've seen today Flynn Downs, unbelievable. Joe Rodon, Leeds United, what a season he's had. Flynn Downs today, what a player. What a player he is. You don't realise how good someone is till you're there watching him in the midfield. He just dominated that midfield. And we said in the preview he's the key man. And Rutter just couldn't get to grips, in my opinion, with just stifling him, getting in front of him and pushing him back. It just didn't happen enough. But yeah, there's a lot of churn, everyone. There is going to be a lot of churn. So it's going to be fascinating to see what happens here. But they're the 3 that are going to go for me. And then it's, can we be a big club? Can we keep hold of the ones that are going to affect us big time? Can you keep hold of an Archie? Can you keep hold of a Jorginho Rutter? Ampadu, and just build around those lads, because the squad is going to be so much weaker. It will be weaker. So when we're considering the league being weaker, we've got to factor that in as well. Let me just get some of your super chats in. Super Toaster, shout out to you, my friend. We have we then have the issue of the squad, goalkeeper, other positions, all the players that are going to want to leave. No player wants to be in a national 2 division for too long if they are any good. That's right, Super Toaster. And listen, I mean, I thought it was absolute madness, Daniel Farke taking Somerville off. I know he wasn't having a good game, and we all call for Jaden Anthony. I've said before, just get Anthony on. Get Anthony on, but it's very game state, We're talking about getting Anthony on at points when Somerville's knackered or he's not performing, and he's then got another 2 or 3 games to get back to that. You don't bring Anthony on when your jewel in the crown has what? How long was it left? 15, 20 minutes? I can't remember. 15, 20 minutes left. You don't bring him off. He's your best player. You don't bring him off then in the biggest game of the season. 1 game. All we needed was a goal, and then it goes to extra time. And then it could have changed momentum-wise, You don't take him off. It's like literally waving the white flag. Oh, we've lost. That's no disrespect to James or Anthony. I thought they were, and James when he came on in particular, I thought he was really, really good when Dan James came on. Really direct, and Nonto deserved to come off. But Somerville, you don't take him off. Any other game, fine, but not the playoff final. Not for me. Super Toaster again. Thanks for the donation, mate. Do we think Farke made the right decision for the season? Do we think the manager made the right decision for the season? Do I think top managers in the world in Farke's position would have failed on the season? No, I don't. Yeah, and I think I get it, and I get why you guys are angry. It'll be interesting to see how you feel in sort of like 2 or 3 days' time. That's going to be interesting to me because I really want to get a gauge on the fan base right now. Because what happens, everybody, just to give you a little bit of info, is I'll do these streams, then Leeds fans will calm down in 3 days' time, and that's not to say you, Super Toaster, by the way. But Leeds fans will calm down, and then they'll come back and start battering me for having a raw opinion on what's going on. So that will naturally happen. But I will still have the same opinion in 2 days' time. I'll be less upset, but I'll still have the same opinion. We'll still be dissecting this stuff because now form and performances can't infiltrate or dictate anything. It can't, because we've not got any football games left. It's the end of the season. So now we can actually get down to the cold hard facts. Of what we need and what we don't need. But shout out to you, Super Toaster. Liam Moore has said, Farke out, end of. He's failed. 49ers need to be ruthless. Do you know what, Liam? I think that's the first time I've heard that on the channel. And what I want to be clear on is Liam, I respect your opinion, mate, but I do disagree. I'm not Farke out. Will he change as a coach? Didn't at Norwich at all, which was the problem at the end. Didn't at Borussia Mönchengladbach, which was the problem. Leeds, is he going to... When we saw the 4-3-3 at Norwich, I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe he'd done that. I was like, whoa, what on earth? He's actually sort of, divvied up his formation a little bit, and we've gone for a different strategy. That was really surprising to me. But, he came out... So I think the pragmatism is a problem. I think his in-game management is poor. It was at Norwich. Really was at Norwich. And Matteo Joseph has been absolutely criminal. It's been absolutely criminal. Came on today, a couple of nice little flick-ons straight into Pero's path, and you just think to yourself, imagine if we'd have had that for longer than 8 minutes. That'd have been nice. Just to see. Who cares now? Keep Somerville on, put Joseph on, keep Perot on, Dan James on, go to a 4-2-4. Why not? You can still play the same way, but you've got another body up there. Go a little bit more direct. Bypass the press, go a little bit more direct. There was a couple of occasions it worked, and I thought, ooh, and we got in, but it was just bad decision making again. But yeah, Farke isn't. We're gonna do videos on this. We are gonna do videos on this coming up, everybody. There's over 2,000 of you in the building. Please slap a like on the video, everyone. Just sort of indicates to me that you're enjoying the content. And we'll get to as much chat as we can. But Daniel Farke is there's a conversation. 100%. Everyone else will tell you stupid. You won't get that on my channel. You will not get that on my channel. If we will look at the pros and cons of it. Yeah. And I respect your opinion massively. And for you all to question Daniel Farke is completely sane, by the way. Don't let anybody tell you elsewise, because it is completely sane to do that. Squad we've got. What happened post-international break? And what's happened today? After 2 times facing the same opponent who's actually divvied up his formation, and you've had time to work on that, and for us to go in with a very flat, low tempo, bar 10 minutes performance, which has been very, very similar to the other 2 we put in against that manager, you then think, well, tactically, what's going on there then? Why are we doing the same thing? You know, definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again and expecting different results. So yes, 100%. But obviously, and the Farke coming out praising the fans, all this sort of stuff, and saying he's the man to take us forward. It's very smart. It's very smart what he does, because the fans love that, And as I say, not Farke out, but he's 100%. I'm definitely criticizing him for today. Every Leeds fan spent a lot of money this weekend. It's not down to Daniel Farke. Of course it's not. It's as much down to the players, or maybe 60-40 or whatever. But we all should have our say as paying customers. Shouldn't just have a muzzle on your mouth. And you're all well within your right to be Farke in or Farke out. I am not Farke out. But what I will say is it's going to be a very, very interesting summer and a very interesting start to next season. Ricky says, emotional call, Con, Farkin, or Fark. Hopefully I've answered that, Ricky. Lee says, I don't feel as disappointed as I thought I would. I think the way the season faded out was thick in my skin, almost like it was predictable. Lee, I think you're spot on. It was weird because I was coming out and I was gutted. I wasn't coming out going, oh, we'll look ahead to next season. Like, I wasn't, because it's raw and I'm hurting. Me and Jack, my brother, are hurting on the way back. You probably see that in the post match. I am a broken man in that. And I literally had my head down. I was looking out the window the whole 3-hour train back, and I was just, I didn't go on my phone once. I didn't go on my phone once. I'm just looking out the window, desolate. So yeah, it cripples, mate. It does cripple. But I think what you've said spot on. I think how it's petered out, like post international break, I think a lot of us were like, well, we've just bottled it. QPR, Southampton. We just saw it and it was like, oh yeah, no, this isn't. And then Norwich sort of galvanized us, didn't it? That one performance. And we're like, oh my God, can we match Southampton? But I said to my housemate this morning, I said, I stayed with this morning. I said, look, you don't want to say this on air because I don't want to come across as a martyr, but he didn't learn in the last game. And both games that we've played against Martin, he switched up his formation. And at the same time, he's beaten us twice quite comfortably. That game at Ellen Road was comfortable. We had chances, which I went back, looked on, and I thought, oh, I don't remember that. But they were making substitutions, and the Southampton fans were olaying at Ellen Road. Do you know what I mean? That's reality. So, yeah, it faded out. It completely did, and maybe that's why it doesn't hurt as much. I'm not sure. Here you says, shout out Danny James. Looked like the only one who wanted it today. Not sure what the future holds, but as a first-year Leeds fan, I'm not going anyway. Shout out to you here. You let us know where you're from. I'm getting sort of Japanese vibes from your super chat, mate. Yeah, it looks like I'd be interested in your channel, to be honest. Cool little graphic as well. I think we've seen with Leeds, if we don't score early, we're done. Norwich didn't survive first 20 minutes. Saints did, and 3 finals, 06, 08, 24, no goals, man. I know, Phil. And listen, the thing is, Phil, as well, I was saying this to someone actually, and we've mentioned the bottom 6 and the bottom 8 performing against us and what they did, their tactic. What we've got to realize now is where the manager, we have to almost get plan A perfect, as a certain Argentinian would rest on those laurels, or there has to be a plan B. There has to be a plan B now, because teams, if I am a Hull, Hull and Coventry nearly did it, didn't they? But if I'm teams going into next season, I am literally looking at what Russell Martin's done. Russell Martin's got better players, but in the post-international break, we've seen Leeds massively, massively struggle with certain styles of play. And the manager's way of resolving that is getting a big pile of mud, launching it against the wall and seeing if it sticks. Throw Anthony on with 5 minutes to go. Throw Joseph on with 10 minutes to go. Gelhardt, one game, we'll throw him on with 4 minutes to go. Like, what are we doing? So that style of thing, that needs to get a lot better, because I think a lot of teams are going to look at what Russell Martin has done against Leeds United this season and Leeds post-international break. Addicted to Profits says, on Joe's stream, one guy was saying that Farke doesn't have the players in it. Yeah. I'm not having. Listen, I wouldn't straight ban you, but I am not having that he's not had the players this year. We ain't having that in this chat, everybody. Come on. You're all a smart bunch. And I'm not being patronizing here. I am not. Because there's over 2,000 of you in here. I met a hell of a lot of you down at Ellen Road who was singing from that smart hymn sheet of he's had a good that is a good team. And listen, as I said, we're not throwing the duck out the bathwater here. He's got, for me, 100%. He's got a large portion next season. We'll wait and see if he gets it right. The 49ers have also got to get it right in the off season to match up his his philosophy, his ideas, and all this sort of stuff. But he's got to develop as a coach. And my worry with Daniel Farker is he didn't develop at Norwich towards the end. It was similar problems. Much and Gladbach, it was the exact same thing. So, yeah, when you've got Crescencio Somerville in the Championship, yeah, let's, come on. Farker might get us up next year, but he's not the long-term solution. So if there's someone out there who would be better, I'd swap now. Well done, Connor. Pete, thanks, mate. And once again, completely rational point of view. I said, look, the only stipulation I have with Mr. Farker, the only stipulation about keeping him, if there is a top coach that becomes available at this level, don't know who that would be. I'm not sure. Maybe you guys can get some names in the chat. If a top manager becomes available at this level relative, that's when I'd probably look at a top manager. Listen, we've done all this before, haven't we? We've done all this before. Let's not be sentiment FC, right? We've got to be ruthless. We've got American owners now. This isn't the Orta and Radrazani show where they've got best mates in and around the staffing in the background and they're the best pals with the players and certain individuals won't go and all this sort of stuff. Look, that's not happening. That is not happening anymore. We have ruthless negotiators in charge. So if they deem it fit to part ways with Mr. Farker, we'll back that as a fan base. Some of you might think it's wrong. Some of you might think it's right. But I don't think he's going to be given a really, really long leash if it starts going wrong earlier on next season. I don't think so. But he started last season without really a full training campaign schedule. His signings came in late. You've got to say that. You know, we did start this season a little bit sort of, on the back foot. I will say that for Farker. And if he's given an actual proper preseason, he knows the players now. He's able to bring in some players, even from the Bundesliga. He's got a lot of connections there. We know that from his Norwich days as well. Eli Gruev as well coming in for Werder Bremen. If you can utilize that, the 49ers will back him. They're a very, very level-headed business sort of strategy, franchise, I should say. So the 49ers enterprises will back him. And hopefully we'll see a little bit continuity and long-term progression when it comes to Leeds United. And that's what I'm looking at right now. We can't just be saying, in my opinion, I respect your opinion, but in my opinion, I don't think you can just be saying, get Farker out. We've got to have a bit of a thought process here, I think. Yeah, James, question for the chat. This has set us back 2 years at least. Yeah, I'd agree. In the champ for 10 more years, Southampton boys are on the bit. I don't even think that goes, mate. In the champ for 10 more years, Southampton boy. Nah, you've killed that. Too much wording there, mate. Southampton, that's dead. That's dead. If you'd spend £5 on that, Aston, needs to be better, mate. Abdullah, lovely seeing you today, mate. Lovely seeing you. Nice meeting you today, mate. Wasn't meant to be, but I'm so heartbroken. We go again next year, hopefully with a better end. Thank you so much, mate. And thank you everybody for your donations. The chat is absolutely popping. Abdullah, yeah, lovely guy. I didn't get a chance to fully speak to you, mate. Ricky's in again. Ricky Panzanelli, Maresca, McKenna, Martin, all being hunted. Farker not. Charlie says, hope we can recoup the rumoured 100 million needed to comply with FFP. Also wonder what happens with loan players coming back. Well, yeah, this is it, Charlie. This is it. So what we know right now is Mark Rocker is likely going to be going to Betis. We know Llorente is obviously going. We know that Christensen's going to be coming back. Aronson's going to be coming back. Verber's going to be going. And Harrison's going to be going. So that we've kind of got a bit of an idea of what's going on there. We obviously know Luke Ayling's going to be leaving the club. Liam Cooper, and then obviously Stuart Dallas. It's a bigger churn than people thinking. You might not think it's a churn when it comes to quality, but I'm telling you, just look at those players who've got to their deal. Look at those players who've got 12 months left on the deal. Brownie's just messaged me and said, just got home. Phil, why can't we just have some joy for once? We've had one moment in 5 years to celebrate as fans in the ground, and that was Brentford. Of course, Leeds blow up. Yeah, yeah, I know, mate. It's hard, isn't it? It is hard. We listen. It's hard. Yeah, a lot of you oldies have had oldies, my dad's age, have had a lot of success when it comes to Leeds. You have, and you've been through heartache and trial and tribulations, but us lot, 30 and under, man. 30 and under. No, actually, it's my age group who's been through the worst. It's us. Because the lads who are just turning 17, 18, 19 now, they sort of had like what, Gary Monk? Gary Monk sort of, I don't know, like what, 7, 8 years? Gary Monk was decent for Leeds in that last season. What we finished seventh, eighth? That for Leeds is good. My entire teenage years was Leeds in the wilderness. Absolute wilderness. So yeah, we had the Bielsa years, didn't we? We had two of the Bielsa year. This season's been decent, been decent, but we've not got over the line. So the 90-point trophy. Yeah, it just doesn't mean anything to me. And you guys, a lot of you guys, and listen, as I keep saying, opinions are huge in this. We've got 90 points, but I see football as quite black and white when it comes to this sort of stuff. We haven't got up. So I don't. We've got 90 points though, Connor. You know, you've got to be happy. What? No, we haven't gone up. And you've had Ipswich go up. You've had Ipswich get 200 points in 2 seasons. And some people, apparently, according to my comment section, are saying that Farke's squad's not been good enough. It's fun. I didn't. Yeah. I just. Yeah. Come on. Let's be sensible. Phil says next season, give me Sergeant Morton Whitaker. Yeah, we're going to get into that, mate. We're going to get into a lot of what's going on. Joe said it was heartbreaking. Weber says, as a 22-year-old, this is the worst time I've ever had, apart from the relegations and a couple of early playoffs that I can remember. This hurts the most. And that, yeah, and look, it's Fraser says, Connor, is it the fact we've lost or the fact that we've played crap that hurts the most? It all does, doesn't it, Fraser? It all does. It all hurts when you're a Leeds fan. It just does, because we're such a passionate fan base. We always turn up. You know, what I should have done today. I should have sat here and done a watch along. I should have done my post match. I should have done all that. That's what I should have done. Sensible, Connor. But I've been an absolute moron. Done all of this last minute. Spent a ton of money, of which I don't have. All last minute. Train tickets, hotels, everything. Tickets, beer money, all of it. Done all that with a day's notice because I got a ticket and got excited. And I thought, I want to watch Leeds again. And I'm thinking, but you've done this before. You know how this goes. Why are you doing it again? I should have done this. I should have sat here, watched the game, done a watch along, instant match reaction, all the good stuff we normally do on this channel. Got my dad, but I didn't because I got excited because we all do it for Leeds. We all do it. You get a sniff of a ticket. You get a sniff of getting down there and being with the brilliant fan base we have and experience it and thinking, do you know what? We're going to do it. It's going to be that one time we're going to break records. We've broken records this season. We're going to do it again. And you think you get that little bit of joy. They lead you up, don't they? And they give you that reality. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's why, of course, so it is really difficult when it comes to this club. It is. It's never been the same. Corkard, and shout out to you, mate. Phil says, I'm 27. On my teenage years, was being bullied for being League One and Championship. I've always described Leeds as bridesmaid, not the bride in the mud. Exactly, Phil. That's exactly how my dad describes it. Always the bridesmaid. Always. It's never been different. So it's all we've known, but ups and downs, innit? And they hate us because they ain't us. I'm telling you, because Leeds reverberates. Leeds United as an entity is just, we are so hated because people care about us. People really care about us. So, that you'd rather be that than sort of a shitty little tin pot team. You know what I mean? So it's hard. It is, it's hard. And they put you through it. But as a fan base, as a unit, as a collective, we are a special bunch, and you did see that today. And it's hard. This is where this stuff becomes therapy. I do a lot of this stuff because it's therapy. It's coming on here. There's no script. I don't have a script. I don't have anything behind the camera. Just come on here and talk, and it's raw and it hurts. And that's why we do these things. I see the Square Ball call it a grief cast. I don't know what we need to call this. Maybe you guys can come up with some names, but this is going to happen. It's going to happen with Leeds. But and that's why, do you know what? Do you know why it's always amazing with us? Because we have so much disappointment that when we get that incremental margin of joy, we just, the whole country couldn't believe the atmosphere when we beat Norwich 4-0. You had Sky Sports talking about it consistently, ESPN, CBS, Fox News. It was reverberating around the world. The atmosphere, Leeds atmosphere. It wasn't even the performance. We just stubbed Norwich 4-0 and we got through to playoffs. But did you hear the atmosphere? Did you hear the atmosphere? All the pundits, all the Premier League, Leeds atmosphere. Because that is what the cauldron that it can be, the fan base around the world. That's what we can conjure. And listen, it's been, I have to say, I'm exhausted. I'm absolutely exhausted, and I'm probably waffling on right now, but I'm drained. I'm so drained. Creating this content for you guys has been amazing, but it's a lot. It's a lot of work. It's a hell of a lot of work, and I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you for sticking by. If you guys don't know, I was made redundant. I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but I am anyway. I was made redundant about 6 months ago, and I was in a little bit of a state. I was trying to think about what to do next, really unexpected, and I just thought I'm going to try. I'm going to try with this, and I'll see what happens. And I have to say that the reaction I've had for this period has been nothing short of unbelievable. I thought I'd fall flat on my face. I thought no one would be interested, but you've all been amazing. You've all been absolutely amazing with other bits of freelance work that I do, because I am in the journalism world. This has been a really unbelievable, confidence boost for me as well as something that I hope to do, for the foreseeable future. So I'd like to say a big thank you. It's not all been downbeat. It hasn't. We have had a good season. I don't like the 90-point trophy, but out of the seasons we've had, this hasn't been a bad one, has it? It's not been a bad one. The amount of wins we've enjoyed, the good times. Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's all ended. It's blown up in our faces, but ups and downs. And as I said at the start, I hate people doing this, but we have to. We've got no other choice. We go again. We have to. Because if we don't go again, what do? We can't just stand there. We can't just be stuck in the mud. Ugh. Weaver says, Connor, you have been my highlight this season, pal. Absolutely love what you stand for. I'd love to hear your opinions. Can't wait for future. Thanks, man. Really appreciate that. Abdullah just dropped you a follow on Twitter to send you the pick we took. Yes, Abdullah. Hopefully another one where we go up as champions next year. I'm certain we will do it next year. I don't know why, but I am. Abdullah was very, very positive today. If you got any pictures today, send me them on Twitter. I'll retweet them. I'll stick them out there as well. Everybody had a few today. Shout out to Craig. Sean says love from Toronto. Rutter for share. Yeah, not a bad shout. Not a bad shout. It is football. It is football. Thank you, Mr. Anthrope. And Rick, top man. Really top man. Really appreciate that, my friend. But that's it, everyone. I think that's it. I think we'll shall we leave it? And we'll come back tomorrow morning, fit and firing. And we'll come back and we'll talk. And we'll hash it out. We've got a show tomorrow at midday, a live. You can all come in. I know you're all loving the lives at the minute. Get in, get your thoughts. I'm sure there's going to be Southampton fans taking the mic. You're all welcome. We'd be giving it out as well. Just find it a bit odd, Leicester fans and Ipswich fans giving it now. It's the big club thing, innit? It's the big club tag. But yeah, it's suffering, innit? It is. Cheers, Fraser. Top man. Top man. And Phil says, not to sound too bitter, but I feel the modern game has surpassed Leeds, has bypassed Leeds, Bournemouth, Brighton, Ipswich, and us slogging out. Hopefully, mate. Hopefully, that is going to be us, though. We've got to give the 49ers a chance. They mean very well. Look, you guys know. Look. Come on. If you're an OG of the channel, if you know what's happened this season with me, they look. We're in good hands. And I wouldn't be saying that. I wouldn't be saying that because I'm real on here. I don't BS for anyone. I don't BS for likes or anything like that. This is me being real. They are real people and they are very good people as well. And they are in with the best interests of the club. And how long has that been for Leeds United, having that, the best interests of the club? You know, that's unique. Thought I'd give a little back as I've watched loads free content. Cheers, but Brendan, thank you so much, buddy. And guys, listen, come back. See us tomorrow. Lee, love you too, mate. We'll see you tomorrow, right? Come join us. Get it on. You'll feel better. You'll feel better tomorrow. I'll feel better tomorrow. I promise this will feel better tomorrow. And for all you who are in a different time zone and now you've got the full day, chin up. But yeah, just listen, do some family time. You like your boxing, go watch some boxing content. Stay off Twitter. Jesus Christ. Stay off Twitter. Don't get involved in that crap because they're all going to come for us. We know what's going to happen. I've seen it already. Barnsley fans, Rotherham fans, Doncaster fans, Huddersfield fans, Burnley fans, Sheffield United fans, Ipswich fans, Leicester fans, Forest fans, Derby fans. They're all at it. Turn social media off. Don't bite. And we'll be back to fight another day. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's been Connor. I'm knackered. I need to go to bed. But I will see you bright and early tomorrow with some Leeds United news, some Leeds United streams, and I know you all be back with me as well. So come catch me then. I'll see you in a bit. We go again.